Good evening, everyone. My name is Michelle Fletcher, and I am the college recruiter for CVCC. Thank you all for tuning into the session. Now, just as an FYI, this session is being recorded, and it will be uploaded to our YouTube channel and to our website. So I would encourage you at some point to go out to our website, take a look at the topics that we've already covered, and then take a look at some of the future topics as well. It is our effort to make sure that you are as informed as you can be about your decision for CVCC. So we want to make sure that you have the information that you need as you consider, again, CVCC. Our guest speaker tonight is Ms. Kim Gregory, CVCC's Associate Professor and Program Head with our Early Childhood Development Program. Ms. Gregory is going to be talking with us about this program and maybe some information about career paths and where you can go again with this particular field of study. Listen, we want you to feel free to ask questions along the way. If you don't want to ask questions, listen, throw them into the chat. I'll be keeping my eye on the chat to make sure that we get your questions answered. We will also leave a few minutes at the end of the session for Q&A. So get those questions written down because, again, we want to make sure that you have the information that you need before you get off this call. All right, that said, we are going to go ahead and give it over to Kim Gregory, and she's going to take it from here. Kim?
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. Hi, everybody. We are so glad you're here. Thank you for the interest in CVCC and in the early childhood program. I have prepared some slides just to give you an overview of the program, but always happy to meet with students individually. I frequently go to early childhood programs and present to staff and on site, so don't hesitate to reach out as you have questions or see a need. All right, I'm going to go ahead and jump through. So to give you some sense of what we have in early childhood, we have a career studies certificate, a certificate, and an applied associate's degree. I'm going to come back to those with a little bit more detail, but I just wanted you to know what you have before you get started. So many of you may be wondering, what does an early childhood professional do? Who is an early childhood professional? So this is a lot of words and a lot of text to just say early childhood professionals are people who work with young children, promoting all areas of development. They work with families. They support children's learning through observation and assessment. They work with other professionals to support what children need. And we truly see the value of this as a profession. So thinking about where this might land you as a job, as a role, as a career, I want you to think about, how do you want to spend your day? Do you want to spend your day, as these pictures illustrate, working with young children in settings supporting learning and development? Early childhood is considered birth through age 8. So it's a pretty long stretch. So that's birth through grade 3. Early childhood professionals work in what many of you would think in a traditional early childhood setting, like a private child care center, faith-based center, family child care homes. Early childhood graduates often also work in Head Start or Early Head Start, which are federally funded preschool, public preschool classrooms. I've had students in the past go on to do things such as family case management, working in children's museums, working in children's libraries, going on and carrying on their degree in education to play roles in training and technical assistance, grant management, program direction. So lots and lots of choices other than direct service and interaction with children. But if that's what you'd like, this is for you too. Okay. So then, why do you want to do this? Why would you, what are the benefits? What would be your goal? To make a difference in the lives of young children and families, put yourself on a path through credentials and earning certificates and degrees. Many of my students currently work with children already. It's very typical for me to have a classroom full of students who work. And for that reason, many of those students seek this degree program in order to improve their practice, what they're doing in the classroom, to find different opportunities for careers, both in direct and indirect service, personal satisfaction and fulfillment. That's always okay. Many early childhood initiatives happening in Virginia have connections to what we do in class, so it helps students to understand bigger picture and the role that they play. And also, you can do this. You can do early childhood. So one of the obvious questions students often ask about is how will they pay for college? So I'm going to slow down. I know I talk fast. Slow down here a little bit. So there's always the financial aid options. Many of you might be familiar with the FAFSA form, which is the federal financial aid form. You should always fill that out, and then our financial aid office will work with you to see what you are eligible for and help you figure out how that works. But also keep in mind that there's a number of scholarships that are specific to early childhood that only early childhood students are eligible for. So one is done by the Virginia Department of Education, and I have put the links here in the PowerPoint. I'm happy to share this PowerPoint too, by the way. So the Virginia Child Care Provider Scholarship is administered by the Department of Ed, and their rule is that you must work with or intend to work with young children. So if you are a high school senior and just graduating, you are eligible if you say you intend to work with children. And that scholarship pays tuition for up to 2 classes per semester. And what's really nice about these scholarships, I will say, is you do not pay and get reimbursed. We have relationships with the scholarship administrators. So you guys, you're on a list and they know you're paid for. So I think that's very helpful for students. Another scholarship in Virginia is supported by the Virginia Early Childhood Foundation, and it's called Project Pathfinders. I've also put the link there. This scholarship works hand in hand and similarly to the Department of Education scholarship. This one, you must work with young children. So this one, you cannot say you intend to. This one, you actually have to be working with children, but it can be part-time. So if you have an after-school job or you just work part-time and take classes, you are eligible. The Pathfinder Scholarship not only pays tuition, but it also pays fees and books, which is very helpful for up to 2 courses per semester. And I do have some dual enrolled high school students here through the CTE Academy. Those students are eligible for this scholarship also. Dual enrolled high school students are eligible. And we are lucky at CVCC right now to be participating in the Davenport Institute. This scholarship, I do not have a link for, so you just reach out to me directly. This scholarship is intended to support those working with young children on an educational path. So we're seeking to recruit new students, enroll them in the program, and help them through intensive advising and support. But they also get an incentive, monthly incentive of $250 for 6 months as long as they stay enrolled. So the idea of the $250 per month is to support you in ways that maybe other financial aid doesn't. So for my students with children, that could pay for childcare. It could pay for gas. It could pay for transportation. It could help you buy a computer if you needed one, or if you have the scholarship that does not pay for books, it would help you pay for your books. However, that money comes directly to you. And then also, early childhood is part of the G3 Get a Skill, Get a Job, Get Ahead scholarship, which also supports tuition fees and books, depending on eligibility guidelines. So there are lots of options to pay for school. So I want you to keep those in your head and don't think that money is going to be a barrier, because it should not be. So I'm going to show you the website with the program in it. But before we get there, I just want to give you a little bit of a sense of how the program works. So we have 3 credentials in early childhood. We have a career studies certificate, which is 16 credits. And the understanding there is that it's your foundation of early childhood. So that includes health and safety, guiding behavior, introduction to early childhood, art, music, and movement, observation, and your student development class. That is your foundation. So if you only do that, and that's an option, if you just want to do the career studies, you will have a solid foundation in early childhood. That will take you to give you a good start in the field. If you do that and want to keep going, your next step would be the certificate. So the certificate bumps you up a little bit, includes some more general education coursework, also includes some higher level early childhood courses. So for example, in that certificate, you also take language arts and math, science, and social studies for young children. So it bumps you up a little bit. And then if you keep going, the last credential is an applied associate's degree, and that has 62 credits. So that is built on the first two. So think about this as 3 steps. You get off whenever you want to, but if you keep going and finish the associate's degree, that associate's degree does include some more general education coursework. So your another English, your math, biology, a history, psychology. You will do a little bit more there. And I'm going to come back to this, but our associate's degree is designed for transfer to take you through a baccalaureate program for teacher licensure for or for pre-K to 3rd grade, if that is your interest. We'll come back to that, I promise. So want to give you, I'm going to, hopefully this will work, Michelle. If it doesn't work, we'll figure it out. But these are pictures of my students, just to give you an idea of what they look like and what that might feel like in class. Happy, joy. Okay, good. So this is on our webpage. If you go to our homepage, you would just put early childhood up in the search box, and that would take you there, take you here. So this will give you a sense of what the program is. So it gives you occupational objectives, credit for prior learning. We have some options. I frequently have students who come to me with a CDA. And then if you keep scrolling down, it gives you all of the pathways. So this shows the programs. Okay. So then this gives you a sense in the associate's degree what your coursework would be. So as I mentioned, you know, some of these courses are in the career studies certificate, some are in the certificate, and then you keep building until you get to the associate's degree if that is the path you would like to take. If you go into this, you could click, I'm not going to do it because we'll lose it again, but you can click on the course and it will give you a description of what the course is, if that's helpful for you. Sometimes people like to know what they're doing. Okay, I'm going to try to go back to my slide deck. Try being the operative word.
Okay.
Thank you all for your patience. Okay. So I'm going to pause here just for a second. So one of the questions students frequently ask me as they're enrolling and deciding on courses is how many courses they should take at a time. How long will it take me to finish? Those kinds of questions. And what I generally tell people is it really depends on you. If you do this full-time, if you do the associate's degree full-time, you would be done in 2 years. Most of my students are part-time students. Most of my students work with young children during the day. So usually take 2 to 3 classes at a time, working to juggle the many responsibilities in their life, work, family, and school. My courses are offered primarily in the evening or online, or a combination of online or an evening. Most of my students are night students. So just to give you a sense of that piece, I think that's helpful to know. Let's see. Okay, hold on, y'all. Okay. So I referred to this earlier. It does transfer. It is not considered a traditional transfer degree, as it allows you to either go directly into the field. So you can, with any of those credentials, the career studies certificate, the certificate, or the associate's degree, go right into the field, go right into an early childhood classroom. But if you decide you want to keep going to get a bachelor's degree, here are colleges in Virginia, 4-year universities that we have worked out arrangements with. James Madison University, we have, you would do a Bachelor of Individualized Studies, and you would earn teacher licensure pre-K to 3rd grade. And JMU's program is completely online, which is very appealing to many of my Lynchburg students. George Mason, that program is pre-K to 3rd grade licensure also, not an online program, so keep that in your head. Longwood, which is just up the road, is pre-K to 3rd grade. And I believe, my understanding is that they are doing a hybrid of online and face-to-face. Radford University, You would have teacher licensure in early childhood special ed. That is a very marketable, very, very high need credential in Virginia. And that program, I believe, is also online. ODU's program is pre-K to third grade. VCU is also pre-K to third grade, and Bluefield College has a program that's non-licensure. So that means you would just have a bachelor's degree in early childhood. Many, and if you guys think back to the scholarship I showed you earlier, the Virginia Early Childhood Project Pathfinders Scholarship, that will also pay for bachelor's degree coursework. Okay, I'm going to keep going. So I addressed this a little bit. So when and how our course is offered, certainly online, I would say you cannot do this entire program online. I offer some online classes, but I would say most are face-to-face with a combination of online and face-to-face. Mostly in the evenings. I do teach Career and Technical Education Academy students in the morning, and we welcome other students to join them. And courses are offered every semester and in the summer. So keeping that in your mind. The other piece that I think is sometimes important for students to understand is this associate's degree. Our credentials in Virginia are common at most community colleges. So if you started at CVCC and then you moved to Richmond and started taking classes at J. Sargent Reynolds, they would have this degree, and you would just jump right into it. So the transferability across institutions is wonderful. But the other piece of that makes it important is because so many colleges offer these courses, many of them offer them online. So if it's a course you need that I am not offering here at CVCC, we certainly could find it for you at another community college online. So you might wonder what happens in an early childhood class. This is a picture of a setup from a class I taught. So we really have a huge focus. There's not a lot of lecture, not a lot of sitting and listening. There's not what we call in early childhood sit and get. You are actually interacting, you're collaborating, you're applying, you're reflecting, you're practicing. We frequently give you guys materials to have you replicate or think about an activity you would do with young children. We do the obvious presenting of material, using videos. We try to bring in guest speakers who are relevant to the field because we feel that it's important for you to be integrated in our community and make those connections. To give you a sense of what's going to be offered this summer, offering 3 courses this summer. This is half of the first credential, the Career Studies, offering CHD 165, which is the Observation and Participation course, Wednesdays 5 to 7:30. And then Intro to Early Childhood online and Health, Safety, and Nutrition online. So you have 3 options this summer for courses, and the summer calendar runs May 20th to July 29th. So this is a picture of students and I at graduation in May. So want you to think about there is a path, there is a journey, and these students all received the first credential, the Career Studies credential, and 3 of those 4 are still taking classes on a path to an associate's degree. So it is possible, it is doable. We would love, love, love to have you. And then my last slide is thank you for your attention and your time. Please reach out as you have questions or needs. If there's anything that I did not answer, please reach out. I'm happy to answer. I know I'm a fast talker and I know this well. And so maybe I forget the obvious things, but that is all. Michelle, do we have any questions?
Okay, no, we don't have any questions, but I have a couple questions. And you know, you've already answered 2. I wanted to know about any of your students pursuing an associate's degree. You just answered that.
Yeah.
And I want to know about graduates, and you just answered that. So here's my next question.
Okay.
Are there any males in your program?
No.
But they're welcome, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
And the demand in the field for men
Yes.
is very high because we want children to be taught by teachers who look like them. So the need for men in education is always very high. I was at the community college in Roanoke for a long time, and I every year maybe had 1 or 2 men, but I have not had any here yet.
Okay.
I'd love some. I think that would be a great perspective.
Oh, no doubt about it. My background is mental health, and I work with children with emotional and psychiatric issues for almost about 25 years, from
Wow.
probably age 8 to 18. And I would say that there's no more of a rewarding job than to help give a solid foundation to these little folks. So
Oh, yeah.
that first, from birth to 8 years old, it is just critical that
Mhm.
we help these families and we help these youngsters with a solid foundation,
Yep.
because I've seen them on the other side, again, working in a psychiatric facility.
Mhm.
And it is important that we give them, again, a good start. And so
Mhm.
I thank you for that,
Thank
just a
you.
wealth of information. It was really good. I've learned a lot, and I will use this information again as I
Wonderful.
go forward
Okay.
recruiting for the college. So
Wonderful.
that said, we don't have any questions at this point. I'm
Okay.
going to go ahead and kind of bring us to a close. I have a
Okay.
few gentle reminders, and then we will go ahead and end the poll.
Okay.
I would say to everyone that to mark your calendars next Tuesday, April the 9th. I'm sorry, that's a couple Tuesdays from today, April the 9th, from 6 to 6:30, we will be highlighting our mechatronics program. Now, this program is just a mashup, if you will, of computers, electronics, robotics, electrical. So if you like working in those areas, you do not want to miss the opportunity to hear our speaker come and talk about this program. Again, as a reminder, these sessions are recorded. They are uploaded to our website and our YouTube channel. And so I would ask you in your leisure to go and take a listen for what we've already done, as well as topics that will be coming up in the future. And you have the opportunity now, because this session will also be uploaded to our website and YouTube channel. Give it maybe about another 3 or 4 days. We'll get it uploaded, and you can go in at your leisure, just slow it down, take a listen, and get the information that you need, and reach out to Ms. Gregory as you need to. So that said, thank you for joining us, tuning into this session, and we hope that you will tune in to future sessions. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you, everyone.